A working demo is not a production-ready agent. In AB-620, it is not enough to show that your Copilot Studio agent can answer one perfect prompt during a build session. Once the agent can route a request, capture variables, evaluate conditions, call tools, and escalate safely, the next question is operational. Can you prove that behavior, troubleshoot it when it fails, and manage changes without breaking production? Think of the agent as a small product. A product needs test evidence, diagnostic traces, production telemetry, and a safe release loop. That is the monitoring mindset for this lesson. Start with a route you built. A user asks for order help. The topic matches the intent, asks for the order number, stores the value, checks conditions, calls a connector, flow, or API, returns a response, and branches to fallback or escalation when needed. That route is now the test target. Do not test a vague chatbot personality. Test the authored path from trigger to captured values, from conditions to tool inputs, and from returned results to the final answer. If the route includes an escalation lane or a clarification question, that lane is part of the test surface too. Do not test only the happy path. Use a small test matrix that proves different parts of the route. One case should prove the normal order status path. For example, the prompt asks, "Where is order 4179?" And the expected result is the order status topic, the tracking connector, and a status response. A second case should prove a delayed order with a refund request, so the condition branch and refund flow are visible. A third case should prove missing or ambiguous information, so the agent clarifies before it acts. In a real build, you would add more cases, but for the exam mindset, remember this pattern. Prompt, expected topic, expected branch, expected action, expected outcome. In Copilot Studio, the test panel and activity map are your first diagnostic surface. The final answer matters, but the route matters too. If the user asks, "Where is order 4179?" you want to see which topic was selected, which variable captured the order number, which condition fired, which tool ran, and what the tool returned. This is especially important when the answer looks plausible, but the agent got there the wrong way. The activity map turns a conversation into a visible execution path, so you can inspect the selected topic, the captured values, the branch decision, the tool call, and the returned result, instead of guessing. When routing is wrong, do not assume the backend connection is broken. Often, the issue is a routing signal. Two topics or two specialists may have descriptions that overlap. A phrase like "track my package" might accidentally reach a delivery issues agent when the intended path is order status. In that case, refine the topic description. Make the specialist description more specific, or add clearer orchestration instructions only when needed. Then retest the boundary cases. The important exam clue is that routing quality is improved by tuning the signals that help the agent choose the right path, not by randomly changing tools that were never called. When an action fails, separate the layers. First, ask whether the conversation collected the right values. Did the user provide the order number? Did the question node store it in the expected variable? Next, ask whether the topic mapped that value into the tool input correctly. After that, inspect the tool, flow, connector, or API response. Did the backend return a timeout, a validation error, or no matching record? Finally, check the fallback handling. A safe agent should capture the error, explain what happened in user-friendly language, and route to a fallback or escalation path when appropriate. A useful trace does not just say the agent failed, it tells you where the failure happened. One trace explains one conversation. Telemetry explains the production pattern. After the agent is released, analytics and application insights help you monitor performance, diagnose issues, and identify trends over time. You might watch the percentage of tool failures, the median action latency, fallback conversations, abandoned sessions, or human escalations. A single failed order lookup is a trace problem. A rising failure rate after deployment is a monitoring problem. AB-620 can test that distinction. If the scenario asks about investigating a single conversation, look for the test canvas, activity map, trace, and transcript. If the scenario asks about ongoing production health, think analytics, telemetry, and application insights. For multi-agent solutions, the orchestrator transcript may not be enough. The main agent can delegate work to a connected agent or specialist agent, and that specialist can have its own transcript, context, and returned result. To debug the full exchange, correlate the orchestrator turn with the connected agent transcript. Look at what context was sent, what the specialist did, and what came back. This matters when a delegated task crosses an agent boundary. If the orchestrator says the answer came from the risk agent, but the result is wrong, you may need the specialist transcript to see whether the wrong context was passed, the wrong specialist was selected, or the specialist produced the wrong answer. Then, protect the release. Testing one environment is not enough if the agent will move from development to test to production. Put topics, agent flows, tools, connection references, and environment-specific values into a solution strategy. Use environment variables for values that change between environments, such as endpoint URLs, IDs, or configuration settings. Use connection references so the target environment can supply the correct approved connection. Use pipeline gates and pre-validation, so missing dependencies, missing connection references, and missing target values are caught before production. The goal is to promote the same artifact safely, while allowing each environment to provide the values and connections that belong there. Here is the AB-620 decision board. If you need to prove expected behavior, use tests with expected outcomes. If you need to inspect one conversation, use the test canvas, activity map, trace, and transcripts. If you need to monitor production health over time, use analytics and application insights. If you need to prevent deployment drift, use solutions, environment variables, connection references, pipelines, and pre-validation. If a scenario says the backend URL, API key, connection, or target value differs between environments, do not hardcode it in the topic. Treat it as configuration that belongs in the environment or connection strategy. Remember the operating loop. Build the route, test the route, trace the failure, monitor the outcome, and improve the agent safely. Tests prove behavior. Traces explain behavior. Telemetry watches behavior. ALM controls change. That loop is what turns a working Copilot Studio demo into an agent you can safely operate. For AB-620, listen for scenario language that tells you what kind of evidence is needed. One prompt gone wrong points to a trace. Many failures over time point to telemetry. A release across environments points to ALM. And a feature that has not been proven yet points back to testing the route.